Welcome to the Linear Access Product Overview. My name is Paul Jones. I'm a technical trainer, and I'll be performing this presentation. If you're going to talk about linear access, one of the first things you need to address is linear radio. We make all types of radio products. Delta 3, Multicode, Standard Digital, MVP. All of these products are Dipswitch Settable, which means all you really need to do is set the dip switches in the transmitter to match the code that you set in the receiver, activate the transmitter, and you fire a relay in the receiver. There are some good things about this technology, and there are some bad things about this technology. Some of the good things are it's very, very simple to do. One of the downsides that we've noticed is some people don't actually set the codes in the transmitters or receivers. They just leave it at the factory code setting, which means anybody who purchased one without changing the codes would be able to get into your gated community. So we came out with Megacode. Megacode has a code already burnt into the transmitter. There are no dip switches to set. All you do is there might be a learn button on the receiver where I press and release a learn button, activate the transmitter, and that learns the code in there, or I put them in as a block depending on what type of receiver we're using. We'll go through the receivers first. The MGR is a gate receiver. MGR stands for Megacode Gate Receiver. It is a single channel receiver. It will run off 12 to 30 volts AC or 10.5 to 30 volts DC. It has an F connector style antenna, so I can get that antenna out of the gate operator if I choose to do so, and he will hold 40 transmitters. The MGR2 is a 2 relay receiver. It has the same input voltage requirements. It has the same S connector type antenna, and it will hold 40 transmitters. The reason why I might want to use a 2 relay receiver is a Megacode transmitter, a multi-button Megacode. When I activate the button, I send the code, and I also send which button I'm depressing. So I could learn the left button to fire relay number 1, the right button to fire relay number 2, depending on what my application is. An SMDRG is a high RFI immunity receiver, which means it's a super heterodyne receiver. Megacode is at 318 megahertz, and a super het receiver will stay locked onto 318 megahertz. If I'm having interference problems and I need more range, my range is being degraded, I might want to use the SMDRG to extend my range. It also holds 40 transmitters. The MDRU is a universal receiver. A good example for use of one of these is we might have one of our telephone entries as a gated community, and I might use Megacode transmitters for the residents there. Those residents will probably want to use that same transmitter to get in their garage as they do to get in their gate. I don't know what type of garage door opener they have, and I really don't need to anymore. That MDRU just plugs in to a 110 outlet, probably located right on top of the garage door operator. The 2 screws at the bottom of this receiver, shown here, are a momentary relay output. So I can take a pair of wires, parallel that on the wall switch input to that garage door operator, learn my transmitter into the MDRU, and it will activate that wall switch input and open up the garage door. The MDRU will hold 10 transmitters. The AP5 receiver. It is designed for gate or access entry. It has 3 relays in it. Relay number 1 is used as an access relay, which means it can be timed for 1 to 120 seconds. Relay 2 is access or obstacle. Relay 3 is obstacle only. When we talk about obstacles, we're talking about an MGT transmitter, which is a safety edge transmitter. Relay 1 and Relay 2 can both be used for access. Relay 2 is access or obstacle. Relay 3 is obstacle only. The AP5 will hold 480 block-coded transmitters or 238 single learn. Here's one of the big advantages to the AP5. The keypad on the front here is used strictly for programming. When we sell block transmitters, they are sequential in number. So if I ordered a block, it might be coded 10,000 to 10,099. That's a block of 100 transmitters. All I would do is I would go into programming on this unit, put in the low number of the block, the high number of the block, and the AP5 will accept everything in between. It makes programming transmitters in very quickly. And it works on the Megacode format. A typical situation is I would put in an AP5, program a couple hundred transmitters. They might want to use a keypad. We make an MDKP wireless keypad. There is no programming involved with this keypad. All the programming is done in the receiver. That keypad is nothing more than a variable transmitter. If I had code, once again, 10,000 learned into that AP5, and I typed in 10,000 into the MDKP and hit the pound sign to send it, it would activate its relay. All the programming is done with the receiver. That MDKP runs off of a 9-volt lithium battery that we spec at 25 activations per day for 5 years. Some of the transmitters that we use in the Megacode family, the block-coded MT1B, MT2B is a visor style. B stands for block-coded. 1 button, 2 button. AC21As are singles, Bs are block-coded, 21 single button, 22 dual button, keychain style. ACT31Bs would be block-coded, C would be custom block-coded. You might need specific codes or specific facility codes for the transmitters. We can do that with the ACT31Cs and ACT34Cs, which is a 4-button transmitter. The ACT31D and 34D are exactly the same as the 31B and 34B, but we've added a proximity coil in there that matches the code to the transmitter. So it's actually a prox and a transmitter as well. That's the name transprox. You can use the RF aspect to activate a relay, and you can use the prox aspect to prevent it to a card reader. MDT1A, 1B, A being single learned, B being block coded. MGT4A, single learned, 4B block coded, and the MGT, which is the gate transmitter. That's the safety edge transmitter that would wire to an edge and activate the third relay in the AP5 to reverse or stop the gate in case it hit an obstruction. Next is the linear standalone keypads. All of our keypads basically do the same thing. We just make different models for different applications. I'll explain the AK11 to you and all of its features and functions, and then I'll explain the difference between the rest of the keypads. The AK11 keypad is totally keypad programmable. All the programming is done on the keypad. It holds 480 entry codes. If I set the code to 5 digits, then all the codes need to be 5 digits. I can have that entry code set for time, which means if my relay is set for 5 seconds, I enter my code, that relay will fire for 5 seconds. If I set that entry code for toggle, I might want to enter my entry code, the relay will close, stay closed until I enter that entry code again for perhaps a gate hold open. The AK11 will maintain its toggle after power outage, which means if it loses power and power is supplied back to it and it is in toggle mode, it will engage that relay again. It has 4 independent timed outputs, 2 relay outputs, and 2 open collector outputs. 2 LED indicators. The courtesy lamp is programmable. It has a piezo sounder, timed anti-pass back, 1, 2, 3, or 4 minutes. It has keypad lockout. If I set keypad lockout, for an example, it's 3 attempts, and I entered the wrong code in 3 times, that keypad would go to sleep. It has inputs for door contact, which through programming I could convert to inhibit. And inhibit is this. If I put an external timer on that keypad and I program that input for inhibit, and let's say I put a closure on that input from 10 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning, Whatever codes are programmed to activate relay number 1 will not work from 10 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning. However, any codes programmed for relay 2 will still function. It has an input for request to exit. It is an outdoor model, and it runs 12 to 24 volts AC or DC. The AKR1 is the exact same thing as the AK11, but we put a receiver on top of this, so it will hold 480 entry codes as well as 480 block-coded transmitters. The AK21 has the exact same features as the AK11, but it is an indoor model only. It comes with 4 interchangeable bezels, which is the outside of this keypad, so I can match the keypad to the color of the wall. The 4 choices are white, ivory, chrome, or bronze. The AK21 has the exact 21W, has the exact same features as the AK21, but it is an outdoor model. It bolts into a single game box. It does not come with interchangeable bezels. The AK31 has the exact same features as the AK21, but it does not come with bezels, and it does not have a downlight. It is an indoor model. That will bring us to residential telephone entry. We make 2 models of residential telephone entry, the RE1 and the RE2. We'll go over the RE1 first. It has a 2-way speakerphone, call waiting, distinctive rings for access calls. It's more of a European style ring, 2-click ring, so I know it's somebody calling and not just an incoming phone call. It has a do not disturb feature where if I chose to do so, I could create a time zone, once again from 10 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning, and if somebody hit the call button, she would actually say do not disturb resident, because it does come with a digitally synthesized human voice. I can have 7 access time zones programmed into these units, and I can do 2 things with the time zone. One, I could create a time zone, for example, of Wednesday noon to 4, and associate that with a keypad entry code. That entry code will only work Wednesday noon to 4. The second thing I can do is I can program a time zone, let's say Monday through Friday 9 to 5, and associate that with a relay. That relay will activate Monday through Friday 9 to 5 in case I want to hold my gate open. It does have resident control of relays. It will hold 100 entry codes. It has a built-in receiver that will hold 100 block-coded transmitters, and it has a 450 memory event log. You can program the RE1 on the keypad, you can program it with a telephone, or you can program it with a computer. There is no software with the RE1. It is browser-based. All we did is we put an IP address into the RE1. I still need to connect using dial-up. Once I call it, I dial it up and I connect. I just open up my browser, go to that IP address, and I can program the RE1 through the browser programming. That is how I get the event log out of it. It comes with 2 Form C relays. I can put a remote keypad on it should I choose to do so, and that keypad would be the AMKP. I have 2 door sense or inhibit inputs and 2 open request inputs. It has provisions for an access key switch on the side. Its optional CCTV camera is color. Its optional CCTV camera is black and white because the RE1 does have IR illuminators. If I press any key, the IR illuminators will illuminate so I can see who's out there at night. And it also has a call forward if no resident answer feature. For an example, if I hit the call button and the phone rings inside the house and nobody answers it, I can have the RE1 call forward to another number, for an example, the cell phone number. The RE2 has the exact same feature set as the RE1. The only changes are the RE2 can be flush mounted. Its optional camera is color, vice black and white. It does not have IR illuminators. And with the RE1, if I chose to put an antenna on it, it would be an external antenna. I'm sorry, the RE2, if I chose to put an antenna on it, it would be an external antenna, as the RE1 has a